What's going on, Mike?
Hey, there you are.
How are you, man?
Good.
Running a little bit behind today. Sorry about that.
Well, that's okay. What was weird though is I wasn't sure if I was messing up. I tried to post an MTAM and it wouldn't allow me to post. Like I clicked post and nothing happened.
That's strange.
Yeah. And then I did a test post just on my Facebook page and it worked fine. So
Huh. Sorry about that. That's weird that it wouldn't let you post to the group.
yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's weird. Craig was supposed to be trying to log on too.
Okay.
We've been chatting.
Let me see here. I don't think I have him on Skype.
He just said WTF. We've got a little bit of Facebook chat going, and you're included in that. If you go to Facebook.
Gotcha. All right. Well, sorry about that, Craig. Right. Well, we'll wait for a couple people to hop on here.
Yeah.
Hey, Craig, how's it going, man?
You guys scared us.
Yeah, sorry about that, man. I was running a little bit behind here.
Well, it was weird that we couldn't. Something was wrong with the Facebook group too.
Yeah, that's what Mike was just saying.
At the same time, and I sent a support. I called Matt Bowers because I had gotten the wrong link before, and so I.
Truth be told, and I know this sounds crazy. It's been so long since I did the MTAM group. For some reason, I was thinking it started at 7. So I'm sorry about that. That's my, and it's a good thing I saw Mike's message there because that's
Oh, good.
So sorry about that.
As long as you're here.
Yeah, we're here. We're ready to go, and I've got something cool prepared for tonight. I'll even give you guys some stuff that I'm gonna share with you, some swipe file stuff. So I'll send it your way as well. So let me just hop on here and grab this if I can.
I might have a client call at 7. I'm supposed to, but they haven't shared the link with me yet, so I don't know if it's going to happen or not.
Okay. And I just saw Rashna is asking for the link. Hang on one second. Let me see if I can get her. I'm going to copy the URL. Post it to the group here or to this call.
I just put it in the chat.
Oh, okay. So did I. Yeah. So
If you want to send it to her.
yeah, I think she's part of that chat, so she should be getting.
Oh yeah.
And I had a document for tonight, and I emailed it to myself, but I don't see it on my email. So just seconds.
Would you stop it? I'm not here for you. I know. We didn't go for a run. We didn't go for a walk.
So how you guys been? How's everything going? How are your calls going, Craig?
They're pretty good. I don't know what's good. I'm like I have nothing to relate to. I closed 2 last week, which I was extremely happy about, and then this week I've had like 5 and nothing.
Are you beating your ad spend?
Oh yeah, quite a bit.
Right.
Yeah. So overall, it's all good. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you asked me last week, I'd be going, yeah. This week I'm going, what is going on? What am I missing? So
well, pay attention. If there's some trends to be had there might be some trends to identify.
Well, that's what I want to talk about today. Yeah.
Look at that. Isn't that amazing? All right. So let me find out why, because I want to get you guys this document.
Hi, Ragna.
Hi there, how are you?
Good.
Good.
Cool. So let me just see. Hey, how's it going?
Hey, okay, thanks. Hi, good. I'm good. How are you?
Awesome.
Good.
All right, cool. So I've got it up now. All right, and All right. So admittedly, I'm going to go over some stuff tonight that is not obviously mine. It's out of uh, a training that I've been going through and
Cool.
reading and paying attention to, and it's one that is on the Todd Brown recommended list. So it's not heresy here that I'm going against the grain and going against what it is that we teach or we talk about. So, having said that, I'm going to bring up this page here, and this is, and I seem to be talking about like what not to do. I don't know why, but this is the stuff that kind of intrigues me, the stuff that you want to stay away from, the type of things that you don't want to do when creating winning marketing stuff, because I seem to have, it's interesting. I had an advertisement that I did, and I remember this back from my alarm days when we thought that the ad was going to crush. We thought it was going to kill because it was just such a great image. The image was awesome. It was such an awesome picture. And it was a picture, if you can envision this, it was a puppy dog. And the puppy dog took its paws and it put its paws over its eyes like this. And the headline was, "For when killer loses his nerve." Right? That was the headline, "For when killer loses his nerve." And we were so excited about it because we were like, man, it's a cute dog. I mean, people can relate. This is great. And we sent, we had these nice glossy postcards, printed up. We were so, pumped. The phone was going to ring off the hook, and we sent it out to all of like the top, like the best list that we had, which was people who had just new home buyers, new people who just closed on homes, and it literally produced nothing, like literally nothing. And we were just so confused. And at the time, obviously, then I didn't understand what I understand now with direct response marketing, why it didn't pull. But now looking back in retrospect, it's so unbelievably clear and apparent as to why something like that wouldn't work. When somebody goes to bed at nighttime, are they really thinking about what is it that I can do to figure out how to make killer not lose his nerve, right? Nobody's thinking about that stuff. So look, there's Mike's got killer there right next to him over there. But and this dog was a tiny little dog. It was a cute picture. But anyway, so this training that I'm going through, and it's more of like a written course. If you can imagine, this was actually on cassette tapes. That's the only way you can get access to this course is cassette tapes. Obviously, somebody's transferred it to digital at this point, but it's called Advertising Magic. Are you guys familiar with Advertising Magic? No. Okay. All right. So I'm going to, here we go. So I'm going to share my screen. This is out of chapter 2, and this is the 12 reason why most ads fall on their face, costing you a fortune instead of making you the money that you deserve. So the number one reason, right, and this is exactly relating back to the story that I was just talking about with regards to killer losing his nerve, was that you think, or you already do, image or institutional advertising instead of direct response advertising. So what he goes on to explain what image advertising or institutional advertising is exactly what I just mentioned, was looking for those images or those pictures that are going to create a response, some sort of emotion. And I remember when we did those postcards, we also did an ad in a magazine, as well, not too long after that, for an old age community where we were trying to target folks for those I've fallen and I can't get up buttons type of thing, Mike, you got to put that Cowboys ball down. I mean, that's just, I'm going to start twitching if I see the Cowboys. No, I'm just kidding with you. But so we did this advertisement to an old age community for the buttons as well. And what the magazine or the people that were producing the ad were saying to us, after the first one goes out and literally the phone doesn't ring not one time, literally the phone didn't ring once from this advertisement. And I told them, I'm pulling the ad, I'm killing it. And they came back and tell me if you guys have heard this before with advertising. I don't know if you have, but I've heard it a bunch, is no, you have to let it go a few cycles. You have to, the people have to get, they have to see your brand. They have to see your image. They have to get used to that. And then once they start to know you, like you, trust you, then that's when the phone's going to start ringing. That's all. And from what I'm reading here, especially, from in Advertising Magic, that's crap. That's total, complete garbage, right? Is that over and over again, you just get the image in your mind and you get used to this image. And because of the fact that you're used to this image, what happens is people, entrepreneurs, they see the way Coca-Cola is advertising, they see the way Hyundai is advertising, and they think that's how I'm supposed to be advertising too. The difference is, as entrepreneurs, we don't have these huge bankrolls to be dumping into cash, so into advertising, so that over time, people take action because of our images, right? And that's where the rubber meets the road with direct response marketing, and why what we do is so important to have, your messaging do the heavy lifting. And the image is not going to, and I've spent personally, thousands of dollars with my other company, in trying to get advertisements or advertising to work off of images, just because, the images were awesome. Doesn't matter. It literally means nothing. The second thing is you offer no unique benefit that will attract prospects to you and not your competition. I said in the beginning, I'm willing to offer this to you guys. Do you want this page? Is this of interest? If you guys had a copy of this, if I shoot this over to you, okay. I'll also, if you want, yeah, I'll do that. I'll shoot that over to you. This page. This book is really, like, the stuff that's in this is really great. So offering no unique benefit that will attract prospects to you and not your competition. Number 3, you don't use powerful headlines to stop your prospects dead in their tracks and pull them into the rest of the ad. Again, something that, we didn't understand. Hence, for when killer loses his nerve, is that really powerful enough to get somebody to pull them into an advertisement? Probably not. You don't tell your prospect what's in it for him or for them. Instead, you focus on you, your business, and what you're selling. He goes over in the book, and I don't know if he's where it originated, but you guys have probably heard 1,000 times the radio station WIIF or WIFM. What's in it for me, or what's in it, WIIFM. Yeah, what's in it for me. So he goes over that. It's the same radio station that everybody is listening to at all times. Everybody's on the same channel. What's in it for me? And in an advertisement, we have to tell our prospect what's in it for them directly. You don't talk directly to your prospect in a conversational tone using specifics to motivate. You don't open up with your prospect's problems and frustrations. Oh, I'm going to close my Skype here because that's just going to keep going if I don't. Hold on. Okay. All right. Your ads are too boring to motivate anyone to do anything. They don't use energetic, exciting action words. They have no passion. You're scared to create ads that have a lot of copy. Instead, you leave the compelling benefits out for sake of your image. And this is actually a question we get asked all the time. Is this sales page too long? Is this too long? And that's kind of the opposite. Really, just because you have a lengthy sales letter doesn't mean that it's not going to produce, strictly because of the length of that sales letter. As long as the beliefs that are needed and required to get a prospect to take action are present, it doesn't matter how long it is. And you have to obviously keep it compelling. You don't use specific numbers, results, and testimonials. This is also huge. Being, the specificity that Todd talks about in advertising, that needs to be present as well. Hang on one second. Let me just see here. I also want to pull something else up after this. Do I have it open? I thought I had it open. All right, I'll bring it up in a second. Okay. Because what we're going to do here in a moment is I'm going to show you, I also have another swipe file for copy secrets. And what I want to do is I want to take some of these and I want to transpose them onto this advertisement and see if it fits, if this fits the mold. So you don't use specific numbers, results, and testimonials. You don't provide your prospect with a compelling reason to respond to your proposition now. That's, huge, right? We've got to be able to provide them with a super compelling reason to take action now. And you don't look at advertising, sales, and marketing as a unified, synergistic team of money-making tools and strategies. Instead, you see them as separate function with separate goals. Also, again, this is, I don't know how new that is for you guys, but this was something that was eye-opening, for me, is that all of these things, all of these, components work together. So advertising, sales, and marketing working together. And depending on how well your marketing is going to dictate how difficult your sales process is going to be. And you focus on your credentials instead of focusing on what your credentials can do for the prospect, right? The big benefit for the prospect. So what is it that is going to, to be provided to the prospect? So having said that, I want to take, if I can stop this here for a second, pause share.
I just finished an onboarding call with a new client, and I nailed all of these except for the number 12. I made sure I got her credentials, but I didn't think about how to apply her credentials to helping. So that's worth the price of this call right now.
Awesome. Okay, so let's take a look here and I'll shoot you guys this other document is going to be worth its weight in gold here for this call. So if I can get this up, technology is my friend. Okay, so you guys can see this now. Now, where did the other one go? I wanted to bring both of them up at the same time. Give me a second here. Oh, that's why. Okay. I'm a knucklehead. It's right here on the tab. I could have just saved us 5 minutes. Sorry about that. All right. So here's the deal. All right. So this is this is like it's 24 pages. It's like kind of like a magazine, tabloid magazine. And in it is, the whole idea of this 24 pages is to compel you to purchase their newsletters, right? So this copy you're going to find is really impressive copy all the way through here. But I just want to first go down to the offer. So here's the offer. So yes, Bob, I want access to the censored health, privacy, and investment information. The mainstream media, both liberal and conservative, refuse to reveal. Please send me your free special reports indicated to the right risk-free trial issue. So here again, I just want to show you what the offer is, and look at that telephone. Look how old this thing is. Look at that thing. You guys remember that? So this is what the offer is. So let's first look at, we're going to look at the first number one. So image or institutional advertising, right? And I want to go to specifically one of these, which I was looking at that I thought was really good. So this one is good. This next one here. This one is also good, right? So the forbidden sex hormone cure for heart disease. First, I want to note that the audience that this is trying to capture, right? So the Fed's illegal surveillance of citizens is for both liberals and conservatives, right? Both liberals and conservatives. So right there, they're intentionally going after both demographics. They're not weeding anybody out. And notice here, if you were to guess or estimate on this page what percentage is image versus actual headlines or words, it's probably, I would say, 5% images, and then the 95% is the advertisement. So again, here that meets the smell test for number one. So image or institutional advertising. Sure, there's a compelling picture here. I think that that can only add to it, but that's not what's going to get people to take action. So in addition to that, how to make sure Big Brother isn't watching you. Power-mad government bureaucrats are misusing laws designed to hunt terrorists in order to illegally spy on law-abiding Americans. The feds now routinely tap people's phones, comb through bank and credit card records, and scan email and PC browsing. Fortunately, simple 100% legal tricks used by Hollywood celebrities can make you invisible to government snoops inside Discover, private communications, lawyer-proof your life, total financial privacy, and lots more inside, right? So so as we go down this list here, offering a unique benefit, right? So first is they're talking about one specific core dominant buying emotion, and that's fear, right? That's where they're going after, is the fear that Big Brother is looking over my shoulder and they're capturing all my information. So let me ask you guys real quick, would it be beneficial for me to kind of go through this ad and pick this apart just so you guys can see how this ad meets all this criteria, which I can assure you it does? Or do you think it'd be more beneficial if we go over some of your guys' stuff so we can look at what you're doing and see if that hits the criteria there? Which do you guys feel would be more beneficial to you?
I like the latter, but that's just my opinion.
Oh, hey, John, I didn't even see you there. How's it going, buddy?
I jumped in late. How you doing?
Good, man. Cool. So you want to look at...
I vote for my stuff too.
Okay. Yeah, because we can talk about this. And again, I'll send you guys this stuff. You know, I'll shoot this over to you. And I don't want to make a promise that I don't keep. So let me do that right now. Hang on one second. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to...
And can we get the first list too, please, David?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Can we get the first list of the reasons?
Yeah, this guy right here. Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, so I'm just going to, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put this, so here's my Dropbox link that is in the chat. So you guys have access to that right now. So I know that if I didn't do that, I'd probably forget about it. So I want to make sure you guys have it. So cool. So that's cool with everybody that we go over your stuff? Craig said yay. John said yay. Yeah, we're good with that. We're going over everybody's stuff so we can kind of look and see if it meets some of the smell test here. And I'm scrolling on my screen like you guys are still looking at my screen here. So hang on. Yeah, so we want to make sure that your ads are meeting these criteria. So who wants to go first?
I can start. I was late though, so I don't feel like I get to go first.
Let's just take a look at an ad that you've got out there, John. You know, something, or do you have any ads live currently right now?
Yeah, I sure do. Running some Google AdWords traffic to a puppy sales page, and I've got a Facebook ad we can look at as well. Did
you just say a puppy sales page?
Yeah.
I guess you missed the first part we were talking about with, it's just funny. Let's see it. I want to see what you're talking about. Let's take a look at it.
Okay, cool. So how can I get this ad to you? I got a screenshot I guess I can send.
Why don't you
can I share my screen?
You sure can, yeah.
How do I do that?
It should be at the bottom, share screen.
I'm getting covered up by my record. Share screen. There it is. Desktop. Okay. Cool. Let me know when you can see it.
Yeah, we can see everything. Yep.
Okay, and let me open up a new window. Google AdWords. Let's go into this, and I'll pull up my Facebook account too.
You guys all getting pumped for MFA Live?
Yeah, I've got to buy my tickets still. I'm slacking.
Did you at least get the hotel room?
No, I haven't even done that yet.
You need to because they're going quick.
Get yours, John.
Okay, I'm on it. I do have a question about that, but let me. So don't let me forget. But let me get to this so we can stay.
I'm not sharing my hotel room if that's what you're going to ask, John.
Dang it! So let me see here. Yeah, this is the ad we're running right now. Let me see what the date is on it. Let's just see how it's performed over the last 14 days. Okay, so here's the ad. How to train your new puppy, simple, fun, in-home training, and then online puppy, here it is right here. That's it.
Cool. All right. So let's take a look. Right. So all we're looking at right now, obviously, is the headline. So once you click, well, I mean, can you get into the ad without the? Should be able to just get into the ad so we can see where does it. Well, where does it go to a lander? Where does it go to after you click?
Oh yeah, sure. It goes right here. Right here. Or this is the split test. Here, let me do this. Of course, it's only going to show this hacked up version. Okay, this is kind of the control.
Okay.
Right here.
Okay. All right. So, but I kind of, do you mind going back to the other one? I want to take a look at the other one that you had.
Oh, in the other
lander not that guy. So the one that you first clicked off of.
Sorry.
What is your
It's like a ClickFunnels. Hold on, let me just go into ClickFunnels. Make sure I'm in the right account. Yeah. Okay. Here's the two.
Okay, cool. All right. So, all right, perfect. So can your disobedient puppy really be transformed into a well-behaved dog you're proud to show off in just a few short weeks? So clearly we're looking and especially going off of Google AdWords specifically for a person whose dog is disobedient, right? Because if their dog's not disobedient, then they're of no interest to this guy, correct?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. All right. So first is, so you think you need or already do image or institutional advertising instead of direct response advertising. So what does everybody think? Is John meet the test there for number one?
Oh, let me pull up. That's a good question. So this is the criteria, right?
Yeah.
You think you need or already do.
Yeah, and I don't know if you heard when maybe you missed it when we were just talking about. So image or institutional advertising, what the author goes on to discuss, and I can't say his last name. It's like Brian Voiles or something like that. But
Okay.
but what he goes on to talk about is institutional advertising, which image advertising or institutional advertising is the idea that you are going to base your ads, mainly on images, right? And that is a dead and dying, way to go to your prospect. And that's how most, we were talking about Coca-Cola and Hyundai and stuff like that. And again, I'm just looking through Adweek, how a lot of these guys go to market is through image advertising. So that's the first criteria, is that, and he wants to make sure that you're not hanging your hat on the images, which I would agree there. We are definitely not doing. We're not hanging our hat on the images. We're hanging our hat, on the headline there, right? So can your disobedient puppy really be transformed into a well-behaved dog you're proud to show off in just a few short weeks? So now let's go on to number two. You offer no unique benefit that will attract prospects to you and not your competition, right? So, here's, in my opinion, and certainly folks, you can chime in if you'd like, but in my opinion, the fact that you have there transformed into a well-behaved dog you're proud to show off in just a few short weeks is somewhat unique, because I would imagine that the mindset is typically it takes longer than a few short weeks to transform your disobedient dog. So I think it meets test number two as well. So number three is you don't use powerful headlines to stop your prospects dead in their tracks and pull them to the rest of the ad. So and go back to your Google headline there.
Sure, right here.
Yeah. So how to train your new puppy, simple, fun in-home training. Right. So there's one area that I think that you might be able to improve upon, right? Is something that's more of like a knock 'em dead. Like I didn't normally relate those two type of headline, right? That it's funny, John, just so you know, I remember we were talking to Barry and I told her I was going to create a new headline or another new subject, line for an email for her. And, it's so interesting, the timing, right? Because of, just so everybody knows, she's in the dating niche, and Brad and Angelina Jolie, they just signed the divorce papers. So the subject line, there is the real reason why Angelina and Brad are getting a divorce, right? So I think there you could probably improve upon that. Even something like, how like if you could find like how Paris Hilton, trained her, her 3-month-old pug into a well-behaved something or other. Even she can do it. Whatever. Just something that is a little bit more type of I don't know how to say it, but just kind of in your face, and rather than the type of and I think what you have, we can certainly, I'm sure you're testing it, and I'm sure it's probably doing certainly well, but I would imagine that if you try and just throw another B test in there for something that's a little bit more in your face, smack you in your face, I'd like to see how that performs. But
Okay.
So a little more powerful of a headline to stop you dead in your tracks. So like if I were to ask you if you think that headline, if you go back to it, stops you dead in your tracks, I don't think
It doesn't.
dead in my
Yeah.
tracks.
No.
So there's some, I would try and just think about some different ways that you could say that to stop me dead in my tracks, right? Something to that effect. So
we did try. Does this one? Oops. Does this add naughty puppy training? Course, stops barking, nipping, biting. Is that a little better, or still not in your face enough?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that that's really in my face compared to something that's a little, just intellectually interesting, emotionally compelling, something that, it's just like, wow, I never thought about that, or, that's interesting. Something, if it doesn't stop you and it doesn't make you say that, then it's not really a powerful headline.
Okay.
So,
Perfect. Makes sense.
So you don't tell the prospect what's in your offer for him. Instead, you focus on you, your business, and what you're showing. Let's go hop back to that. So I want to take a look at that real quick. Not the go to the page with the headline on it. There you go. So you don't tell your prospect what's in it in your offer for him. So what's in it for the prospect here? They're able to show their dog off, right? That's what's in it for them. I would maybe even take it a step deeper and say, like what's in it for them, meaning like, so you can have no more holes chewed in your wall, so you can have, no more whatever, like take it even a step deeper than that, what the true benefit is, for the prospect, because that's really what we're getting at there. But I think having you have it in there, proud to show off, like that's the benefit. I'm proud to show off my dog. Pride is a huge dominant buying emotion, right? The pride to show off my dog, the pride to to say that my dog is well behaved, right? I think that's great. That's in there. So and how about talking to your prospect in a conversational tone? So
I feel like it's there. What do you think? Does it need to be represented in the headline in this?
No, it doesn't. Yeah, exactly right. It doesn't. Yeah. So beyond this, and you're absolutely right. So what we're just looking at here, we're not really looking at the entire advertisement. We're just looking at a headline and what's going to get us. So let's scroll down a little bit. So here's what's inside the course. Let's take a look. Play biting, puppies bite, okay. You need to end it fast. Here's why Zen Dog's play biting solution is effective. Okay, keep scrolling.
Yep.
Go down to, so tell me, show me where the R, okay, here we go. So right here, right? So yes, I want to claim my early bird discount and be one of, so that's the piece that we're looking at there, that we're talking about being conversational, right? And not saying that any the rest of it doesn't need to be conversational, but as much as you can, you want it to sound as if like, hey, have you ever considered this? Like you're talking to the person, like you're actually standing right next to them. I was in New Jersey last week pitching my mealworms all week long to guys in Atlantic City, and so there was 1,200 store owners there, pet store and feed store owners, and it was me and my partner, or my partner and I, whatever however you want to say it. So as these store owners were coming up to us, I was kind of like the guy, like I'm like the guy that I'll throw a spear at you and I'll reel you back in. And my partner was the guy that he's the storyteller. And the way that he told the story was I'm telling you, we closed, I want to say 97% of the people we talked to. I'm not exaggerating in telling you that, once I would go and grab them out of the aisles, and everybody around us in the booths, they were in the other booths, they were all kind of like either really mad at us or jealous of us because I was grabbing them in, he was closing them down, and we were moving on to the next person. We just had an awesome time. But anyway, that whole conversational piece, as much as we can incorporate that into our advertisement, is what's going to move the needle, because he's telling that story. He's looking into their eyes. We don't have that opportunity to do that online. So that's why, or even in print ad. And that's why he's talking about, doing it in conversational tone, using specifics to motivate. You don't open up with your prospects' problems and frustrations. I think you certainly do that. So let's hop back over and take a look. Go back to the top of that letter.
Yes.
Okay. So your disobedient puppy, that's their problem, right? So let me ask you, what else comes along with a disobedient puppy? What are some of the other things that come along with that?
Let me think.
I don't have a dog, so I don't know. I have chickens. My chickens are very obedient.
Yeah. So it's the things they do that make them disobedient, right? Like, so the biting, the peeing, the pooping, the chewing,
Right.
the nipping, all that stuff.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Right. So maybe try to incorporate some of that in there, right? Like tired of cleaning up, after your disobedient puppy, tired of, of having to gate off your disobedient puppy when the neighbor's kid comes over, or when your relatives come over, stuff like that. Dig a little bit deeper into that. So, getting more into what their actual frustrations are, right? So it's, getting them to feel that pain. But I think you've got a solid start there. So
we did it on this test here, like on what we're calling the control. Neither one of them's really producing, but this is where we kind of get into that, and can you validate that is a step in the right direction? Your new puppy needs help, play biting, barking, jumping up, toilet accidents in your home, right?
Sure.
Is that satisfying that?
Yes. So it's saying, really opening up with that. And if that's right, and I didn't see show me that control, go back up. So how far down?
Right there.
Yeah. Okay. So your new puppy needs your help. Okay. So we can spend a lot of time on this and going over this exact sales letter here. But I want to make sure we get to everybody.
Of course. Yep.
Yeah. So take this right as a template and put that over this control. And I think that you're going to find that there's a lot of improvements that you can make in order to get some traction on these ads that might not be converting so well for you.
Okay.
But I'm not like pushing this guy's book on you or anything like that, but I just want to, it's fantastic. This course. So
cool.
If you have an opportunity to grab it, which if you guys
what was the title of it?
Advertising Magic.
Okay.
So I couldn't find it on Amazon. I don't know where you get it.
I'll tell you 1 second. Hang on.
When I did the search, it was mostly magic. How to advertise your magic.
Hang on 1 second. Give me 2 seconds, and I'll show you exactly where I got it. If you guys are interested, of course.
Yep.
Okay. So I don't know how much this course originally sold for, but there's a guy, and if you give me 2 seconds, I'll get it for you. There's a guy on eBay who he says he has rights to it.
Oh.
and he sends you. Oh, here it is. He sends you an entire DVD on it. So I'm going to post it here in the. It's now in the chat. So if you guys are interested there, so I highly recommend it. It's like I said, it's a lot. You're going to see a lot once you go through it. You'll see a lot of stuff that Todd talks about in Six Figure and also in the partnership coaching program. There's a lot of stuff that he goes over in there. So cool. So if it's all right with you, John, again, I just want to kind of like get you guys started on this and then, hop on the next so I can
Of course.
somebody else's stuff. So if anybody else wants to hop on, we can go with it.
Cool. Yeah, no, that is quite all right. One thing I did, I mean, this is what we're looking at today, the split test, the ad, here we could just dive into some of the funnels and David, I'd be interested in your feedback and team, I'd be interested in anyone's feedback on this is, this thing, we're just not getting any purchases and it's not a lot of visitors. And I just feel lost as to kind of what's next right now for this funnel.
So do me a favor. So go back to the page and I want to see what the next step is. So click on that. All right. Now there's an exit pop. Let me see that exit pop again.
Let me do this.
Stop, claim your $20 discount, get instant access to Zen Dog puppy training and see results. Yes, give me instant access with $20 off. Okay. Close that out.
Marketer.
Yeah. Close it off and scroll down to the bottom.
Yeah. So there's a lot of copy. Lots of copy. And then here's the offer.
All right. Get instant access to Zen Dog puppy training and see results in days. Yes, I want to claim my early bird discount because the first one to get results from Zen Dog puppy training. I understand that I will immediately have access to the entire Zen Dog puppy training and bonuses. I understand this training is back. Okay. So the first thing I would say is that I don't even, is this videos or like, what is this? I don't even know what this is.
Yeah, it's basically video. It's all this. It's like you get all these PDF handouts, these books, and the video course content.
All right. So scroll down a little bit. Here's inside the course. Play by. Well, go slowly.
Sorry.
Okay. All right, now scroll down a little bit. Okay, keep going. All right, so let me ask you. So who wrote this copy?
My copy guy.
Okay. Did he identify all of the beliefs that the prospect needs to have in order to raise their hand and say, I'm all in? And because, like, for example, scroll up a little bit.
Yep.
Like choosing the right equipment. I have, and again, I don't own a dog, so I don't know, but I would venture to say that you got to look at it like this. This is, I think I've talked about this before, but Clayton Makepeace, like the palm to forehead test, right? Are people going to bed saying, man, I just really don't know what the right equipment is to get my dog to train? That's a good
point.
So I'm not saying that that's the reason why this isn't performing. Just kind of the structure of it, I would change. All right, Mike, see you later, buddy. The structure of it, I think, I would probably change a little bit, just the flow of it. I for whatever reason, it's just kind of turning me off a little bit. But the thing is that, again, I would hit them like, what if you were to ask 100 people who are, have a puppy, like what is their biggest pain? Like what is their, like, I want to train, is it, I want to train my dog in the shortest amount of time? Or is it like, I'm tired of coming home to pee and poop? Right.
It's these things. Yeah. It's this play biting, home alone, crate training. It's these things.
I literally would come out and say, are you tired of coming home to pee and poop? Right? Are you tired of smelling poop in your house? Are you tired? Like I wouldn't hold back any punches at all. And I would hit them exactly with what they're thinking, right off the bat. If that is what they're thinking. Again,
It is.
Craig's shaking his head. Yes, that's what they're they're thinking about. But if that's what their pain point is, go big and bold, man. Go big and bold and say, are you tired of coming home to smelly dog poop? Right?
There was the guy from Copy Chief. Do you guys know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, Kevin.
Yeah, he did a thing on this, on his dog coming home for peeing and pooping or something like that. Research that. I remember it.
It's his 60-second intro letter.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
There's something in what he did for you there. I don't know what, but
That's a good point, Craig. I have read that. He has a good, it's Kevin, not Hart. Yeah, I know. I know
you
exactly.
can find it. You can find it.
Yeah.
I'm right in the middle of looking for a dog. Well, my fiance is, and I'm just going, no freaking puppies, no way, man. Get an adult.
And why is that? Just so I like.
Just
So why?
why I was doing this the whole time.
Oh, because of the training, because of the house training.
In
Okay.
no way. I say if you can highlight, how would you like to come home to your new puppy? Or no, actually, I think the pain is better. I was so sick of walking at night and stepping on a pile of mush, or walking into my home from work and I'm deadbeat tired, and it's the last thing I want to do is clean up pee.
Right. And you can say,
That's what's going to get me to go, really?
Yeah.
And to know that it's going to be fast. And then you can train them fast. It's not going to be I have to come home every day and spend 2 hours
That's exactly
after work
right.
to get that outcome.
Yeah.
Fast, no poop, no pee. End of story. You sell me on that, I'll buy it.
Yeah. I think Craig is so there we're twisting the knife. We're digging into the pain points, and we're making sure that that they're feeling the pain. So here,
a picture of a dog, and they're all over. When they're bad dogs, and they are like, when the dog does this, when they know they're bad.
You're not talking about a dog with their paws over their eyes, saying for when killer loses his nerve, right, or anything like that.
No, you know a dog. You guys have all had dogs when you're like, bad dog, and the dog's like this.
It's cowering.
That's the picture I'd want to see. Are you tired of seeing this?
Yeah. So also, what is the unique mechanism as well, John? So that's I'm curious. Where is his unique mechanism?
Yeah, there it's not really well stated. I don't think. I mean, it's just his method is what we're saying.
Yeah. So the method isn't a mechanism. That's his method, right? So I would also go after, trying to put together a unique mechanism that guarantees to potty train your dog in the fastest time possible.
And I would also, the play biting thing, I would highlight that even more. With the liability, or you have kids in your home, those are like little needles. The little puppy teeth are like little needles and puncture really easily.
So this is a client of yours, John?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's a friend of mine that we've I've worked so hard on this thing. I can't get it to convert. I've probably worked on it for 3.5 months. Honestly, I'm ready to throw my towel. And I'm pretty much done with this thing. I'm just done revising it. I feel beat up by this process because I can't get it to convert. I know how you feel. I'm just kind of tired and fed up with it. And you guys, I'll be honest, if I can't get this to convert, I might not ever try to sell a sales funnel again and just worry about marketing my own stuff.
I am totally with you, man. That's
serious. No, I mean, I think it's important. Like David is my friend and my coach. And this is how I feel, because I've done this so many times where I keep trying to launch these little funnels, I can't get it. And I can't even get one sale on a $27 product. I better stick to app development.
Are you getting, so on that exit pop, is there an opt-in there? Is that what I forget?
No, it just goes to the sales page.
Okay. So there's no There's no capturing any.
No, that's the problem. And then there's also no, like at the time, this is another, see, it's two part, you know, you guys, like with this whole process, you go through doing what we know, what we're taught, getting the client to buy into that. And then you say, look, we need to do it this way. And they say, oh yeah, but I don't see a button high enough up. But we know that the button doesn't matter. We just need them to read down the sales page, or, hey, here's the importance of a unique mechanism. But then it comes funnel, and I'm like, okay, guys, let's launch the ads. And they're like, okay, don't exceed $20 spend limit a day. And it's like, well, how can I get these people any fucking results if
Yeah.
they're not getting serious about this shit? And you guys, I mean, I'm going to drop a couple of bombs here, but this really pisses me off. I mean, I've worked so hard on this.
Are you only doing Google, or are you doing Facebook as well?
I did Facebook too, and I ran a good ad, and I tried several ads, and I even did retargeting. But then the guy with the budget, you know, my buddy that I've helped out with this budget, you know, he's like, oh, well, I don't want to spend this. I'm like, I even did the research, you know, like his competitors are spending $2,000 to $5,000 a month, and he only wants to spend $4,000. And even Google's tapping us out and saying we're not even hitting the recommended daily spend. So there's so many issues here. It's like, I don't know if it's a copy, if it's the traffic. I don't know where to go.
Yeah.
It just puts me in a bad spot. And these sales funnels, I mean, they make me nervous, because it's like I don't know if I can ever get a business plan to where I can offer one and deliver results, because it's like, look at how much it takes. You guys know, I'm just talking out loud, guys. But
it totally is it's a great point, because
I can totally relate.
and I'm totally sitting at a very similar place with my own funnel that I built for myself. And I basically said, okay, let me just send all kinds of traffic to it, you know, targeted and appropriate. But I basically said, let's just see how much it takes to get anything to happen. And I spent probably, I don't know, like $1,000 now, maybe. And it's proportional to what I'm trying to sell. So it's fine. I understand, like 2 or 3 times what I'm trying to sell, but it is really frustrating, because the ads appear to be working, but then nobody's taking action on the page. So then I talked to Teddy last week to make some changes to the page, because he said maybe he thought the ads people were clicking out of curiosity, not because they were really interested. But it feels like there's so many things, and the data doesn't always feel super clear about what you change next.
Well, because here, in case in point, from a strictly Google ad, and this is a short level, a short funnel metric, but the click-through rate is averaging almost 4%, which on Google Ads that's pretty dang good. Mm-hmm. I mean, anything above 2 is great, and 4 with this low budget is incredible. And so I'm like, okay, so the message, there's someone out there who's Googled something on puppy training and they're clicking. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Now, the average time on the page is 28 seconds. So that's not a terrible amount of time. That's not a long enough time for as much copy as on the control. And I'm just getting so caught up in on where to go next. And I have some great ideas for my client and my friend, right? But I'm almost even nervous, do I need to go back and we need to create the lead magnet first? Maybe that's the answer. Is it retargeting? I'm so lost. And I feel like this is where I'm a little disappointed in myself, is I feel like last week I gave a presentation on digital marketing, and I think I nailed this presentation. I taught St. Mary's University so much about what they could go, and I talked through it, and here's the big blocks, and I got the strategy, and I think I delivered that well. But then I come back to something like this, and I feel confident in my strategy and understanding, but I also feel so defeated, because I feel like there's still so many things I'm missing, and I just don't know where to go. I guess I don't know where to go next, or what to do next when your back's against the wall here on that.
I would say you try something crazy. You try something totally out of the box. It's not going to be any little tweaks that do anything.
So,
Yes.
so here's the deal, right? And I can sense the frustration from you guys, and I want to be able to give you some feedback so we can kind of help you. Especially, well, first off, I would say it's difficult when you're working for a friend, right? In the expectation
course.
level, when that puts you under the gun a little bit more, when you're doing that for a friend, especially if they're saying to you, hey, we can't come to the table with a big ad spend or a big budget. One of the things that Sean said to me, which I agree with him, and I'm actually going to begin to kind of live by this. And it's if the client can't reasonably, spend X amount of dollars in order to get to where they need to be, like he's just not going to do business with them, right? If it's tough for them to shell out that money, in order to, like if you're gonna say, listen, I can only afford $100 this month on an ad spend, and it's really not a client that I think that that you should be working with, because then things start happening out of frustration. The second thing I would say is that when it comes down to identifying constraints in a funnel,
Yes.
that's where I think the sticking point is, where the frustration I can sense for you is I'm looking at this page and I don't understand why people are making a buying decision off of this page. And I can tell you that, for your Zen dog, what people are doing, and I'm pretty sure I'm right on this.
Yeah.
They're scrolling to the bottom, and the offer isn't an over the top enough offer for them. So remember when we talk about like the list offer copy, right?
Yes.
So it sounds to me like the clicks you're getting are the right list. You're getting the appropriate people. The next thing, the direction that we go is the offer. And this is exactly as if, we were in a meeting as a client and Todd were talking, he'd be telling you the same thing, is going to the offer. What is the offer? And that $27 offer isn't an over the top enough offer in order to get somebody to say yes. And guess what? It could be, get the module one, valued at $19.99 free, pay $0 now plus, $5.95 shipping, something like that, right? We're going to put it in your hands for free and click bump offer to get the full course for $27 or something like, I would test and change the offer, and I would make that offer an over the top crazy killer offer. And again, this is, you'll learn if you do get this course, Advertising Magic, that he talks about an offer that you're just like, man, I can't say no to this. I was looking at a guy, before we all got on the call here, that I got targeted from a guy who's got an ad agency. Yep. And he did a really good job of convincing me that I'm going to send you a USB stick with all of my copy swipe, with all like everything. I'm going to send it to you. And I said, you know what? I just want to see his process. So I'm going to get his stick for $0 and $5.95 because he made an over the top offer, right? $5.95 for me just to check out what this guy is doing is worth it to me. That's an over the top offer. Then he hit me with a click bump for $27.95, literally, to upgrade to all of the additional expert sales copy scripts and blah 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 blah, added onto the card. Now, just because I know marketing, I know that all that stuff is on that card anyway, right? He's going to send the same USB drive whether you add, like, is he going to really take the time to add that for an additional $27? But most people, I guess, don't realize that, anyway. But he, so is an additional click bump. But anyway, my point is that if it's an over the top offer, if that offer is so unbelievably like aggressive, I am, running an agency, and I'm buying stuff from another guy's agency just because he did a really good job of showing me an over the top offer.
Yes.
So same thing you got to do. It's got to be a crazy, like, how are these guys doing this type of offer? That's what it's got to be. And I don't see that in that $27 offer, John. I just don't.
Right.
28 seconds on the page, again, I would hit him with the pain point, tired of coming home and smelling poop in your house. I would, then say give them the unique mechanism, the only, dog training system, that uses the ABC process, that guarantees your dog will be house trained in 3 weeks with less than an hour a day. Specificity, right? It's in this checklist. Specificity. The only training program that guarantees, because we use the ABC method, to have your dog trained within 3 weeks, and only investing as little as 15 minutes a day, something like that, right? And I'm not saying say things that aren't true. Well, what I'm saying,
yeah, I get it.
it's got to be an over the top, and then get the house training module for free, right? $0 right now, right? And then they click yes, boom. Okay, I'm going to get the house training module for free, and then enter your name, your information, then hit them with the upsell, get the entire program for $27, right? Make it an over the top crazy offer, and you will move the needle on that.
Again,
Yeah.
an idea for you, John.
Go for it. Yep.
So I bet you I know exactly what you're thinking right now, because I heard Todd tell me almost the exact thing David told me about one of my funnels. And in my head, I'm going, you're kidding me. I'm counting up the hours in my head with all these ideas of all the work I have to do to make all that happen. No offense, David, but that's
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it.
right. And John's like at the end of his rope at this point, going, I'm ready to give this whole thing up. So I would say, before you go through hours and hours and hours of work, I would just do something really simple and different. And what came to me that could be different would be kind of like a home video. And maybe it's just iPhone-ish. And it's 2 minutes long. And it's the guy walking into his house, seeing a pile of crap, seeing the dog do this, and going, bad dog. And then cut to video, what do you call it? VSL.
Yep.
VSL that says, listen, are you just sick and tired of this? Do you want more of these needle punctures from this dog? Mike Schmo here, the dog trainer's got it all figured out. It's completely guaranteed. You're going to figure this out in 2 hours of your time in a week, and all that's going to be done. $27. It's a no-brainer. Guaranteed.
Well,
Like that.
and I guess, and you guys, I don't want to, and I want to be respectful to all y'all's time, and I appreciate that, Craig, and I do agree. Like, VSL is a good way to go, and I guess one final, I guess this would be my last comment for feedback on is when I do research, I come across this, like, it's a ClickBank type of product. It has a good headline, a good thing. The VSL is great, and it's 3-day trial for $1. And then just the format of this sales page, not as many graphics, but a good photo and a headline, and then all the bullet points. And I'm just, what Gordon, my dog trainer buddy, is asking is, hey, can we just make something that's very much like this? Like,
why would they buy yours if you're just going to do something like that? Your offer's got to be different.
Yeah, that's what I told him.
That's why yours has to be outlandish and totally different. You're going to attract a different type of person, and maybe it'll work. Maybe it won't.
Here's the thing I want you to take notice to, though. Again, look at the offer, right? The offer, if you scroll down again, for $1, right? That's the offer. So keep in mind, right? And you see the offer without going all the way down the page, right? You see the offer in the first below the first fold, right? So I can just tell you from looking at what the struggles and the frustrations that you're going through, John, and seeing his page, I can tell you his page is going to win 100 times out of 100 because his offer is an over-the-top offer. There's no two ways about it. His offer is going to crush your offer, and that's going to win. What is his headline again? I didn't get the opportunity.
It was pretty good. Let's see here. It's here. Discover the powerful. Here it is.
Yeah. I don't know why, for me, every time I see Discover, I just cringe, but it works, right? So it's something that works. But for me, I would just want to be different than Discover. I don't ever like it.
Exactly. If I'm looking at this sales page, I want quick and I want fast. This looks like a lot of work. Even to read a sales page is a lot of work.
Yeah. Yeah. See,
I don't want a lot of work if I'm buying a dog. Or if I own a dog and it's pooping, I wanted, I'm tired at the end of the day. I want somebody to promise me a magic fix for this. That's what I would want. And for $27, if you can get that across, this is, the unique mechanism, the unique big story or something. A trainer discovers something nobody else knows, and it cuts fixing the pooping problem in 1/5 the time of every other trainer on the planet. Try it. If it doesn't solve your problem in 2 hours, get your money back. I
No,
call that a heartbeat.
And that's what Gordon wants to do. He's like, yeah, I want to shoot a video and just tell him that. And I said, let's do it. You know what I mean? Let's just shoot the iPhone video and tell him just that, and let's test that.
Yeah.
And the other thing I wonder about, because Teddy gave me some feedback last week about moving my offer higher up on the page, is I wonder about for you on that information, that first informational page, if you just said something like solve all your puppy problems for $27.
Yep.
Or something, and then have his video talk about how this can happen, blah, 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 and then push all of the other copy underneath. Because I just wonder if it's either an issue of people, reading on, or people just understanding that, oh, this is something that can solve all your problems. And whatever is the claim you feel like you can make, without exaggerating or lying or something. It just makes me think, if we told them right away that you can solve all your puppy pooping problems for $27, this ebook contains secrets that, most people don't know, or something like that. That feels like that would be closer in alignment to what that other guy was doing.
The other thing, I got another idea. I think you try to do too much, and maybe that guy can do it. And if you want to try to match him, good luck, because that's a ton of work. But you try to do much, say, I'm going to solve all your puppy problems. Go with, I'm going to solve your crapping on the carpet and your barking. Pick the two biggest, whatever it is for your audience. And then if I solve that one or that guy, solve all my problems. Well, I only have this problem. I want the expert for solving this problem. Not the guy who's the greatest puppy trainer in the world. I want the guy who's figured out the magic for solving the barking or the crapping on the rug.
Yeah.
That's how you're going to be different.
And actually, that reminds me of something. I just got back from a conference, and one of the things one of the speakers talked about there was using like an all-encompassing product, and actually picking out individual problems it solves, and setting up like specific ads and specific landing page just for that. So the headline wouldn't be like solve all your problems. It's like what Craig was saying. It would be something like, is your dog's barking keeping you up at night? We can solve this problem.
Puppy barking though. Puppy barking.
That.
Right. And then and it will still give you all the other stuff, but the headline, the hook. Okay.
Correct.
Yeah, the headline and the ad match.
And then the ad would just say, is your puppy barking keeping you up all night, or the neighbor's complaining, or something like that. And then the whole focus would be on solve this barking. Oh, and you also get all these other things too, but really we're going to solve your barking problem.
Yep.
You'll never be able to beat that guy. He's done everything over the top can be done. You got to be different than him.
That's awesome. I appreciate it. I'm going to digest all this. It's just, I'm just sharing with you guys openly, right, as we can, because we're all family.
I feel you, man. I feel you.
And I know you guys have been there. Yeah. Yeah, it's tough. So, David, any final points, brother? Sorry for taking.
No. That's good. I think that this is all great feedback. So just I think going over this checklist that you've got in your possession now, right? Going over that and putting that over, this particular advertisement. And again, I can talk to you, offline, maybe about some of the other stuff that I would probably change, just to give you, little nitpicky stuff, that I see, without even reading the entire sales letter.
Yeah.
So stuff that I would definitely want to change, if I were you, just to try and get this moving. But I can, so just to, give you an idea, right? If you were to look at, for example, just a pure example is, like what Todd always says is it takes an extraordinary amount of effort to get people to take action, right? We see that with a $27 offer here. Well, take a look at Russell Brunson's book offer, right? His free book offer probably, and I don't know how many pages of copy it is, but at least 10 pages of copy to get you a free book, right? So we see that, in action, the extraordinary amount of effort it takes to get people to raise their hand and say, yeah, I'm willing to give you $27. But I think that, you're not hitting hard enough, final thoughts, not hitting hard enough on the core dominant emotion. The core dominant emotion is, I am sick and tired of coming home to dog poop, right? Or
the neighbors complaining about my dog barking while I'm gone.
Or even more than that, you're sick and tired of waking up and stepping in it.
Yeah, right.
I have a friend who has a puppy, and the puppy is not trained. And so I just was visiting with her, and every time I'd step out of the guest room, I would have to turn on the lights and survey the ground just to make sure.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's definitely that's not a fun day, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you could have, even a headline like, what's worse than dog poop, ... dog poop in your house. What's worse than dog poop in your house? Stepping in dog poop. Something that really attaches, that emotion and gets them thinking about what is my pain point right now? And then you hit them with the only system that has the XYZ process that guarantees that your dog will be potty trained in less than 3 weeks, or your money back, right? And again, that might be too early to even say, or your money back. That's at the end, because we don't want them to think it's a sales letter. You might even start off with, 3 tips, right there, or 3 ways to make sure that so the EBM content that you need to have in there is, if that's their number one, right? How do I make sure that my dog doesn't poop in my house anymore? Why not give them 3, where we're teasing but not teaching, 3 tips on, how to keep your dog from pooping, your new puppy from pooping inside of your house. And that's, creating the EBM content as you go through. So that might be something to consider as well.
Awesome.
So.
Thank you, guys. Thank you all for for the input. And it's all noted, and I'm going to take this back and I'm going to let this one sit for a couple of days, and I'm going to come back to it over the weekend. And
yeah, one other thing, I know it said last thing, but this is one other thing. What you're experiencing now, John, is what separates the big boys from the folks who hang it up.
Yep.
Marketing and what we do is all about iteration. It's all about testing and making sure that we understand what we did wrong, so we know to change. Right now, what you're saying is, I've changed it so many times, I don't know what to do anymore. And you're just trying to identify the constraint. Well, we know where the constraint is. It's in your sales page. There's no 2 ways about it, right? Your constraint is in your sales page. Somewhere buried in that page is the constraint. When you're in it and you're in that living room and, there's a helicopter, flying over, it's easy to see. But when you're standing in the living room, it's hard to figure out, what's disorganized and what's not going right. So yep. I think we've got some tips, and I think that this checklist, I really believe this checklist, or these, this list here is going to help you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you all. I do appreciate it.
Cool. So who wants to hop on next?
I'll go next.
Mr. Craig.
Mine, and I hope you don't mind, Rachna, but I actually want your opinion here too.
Can I ask a question? And just real quick, is your name pronounced Rachna or Rachna? Because I've been calling you Rachna, and I'm sorry if it's Rachna. I apologize.
Actually, the correct pronunciation is Rachna.
Rachna. Okay.
And so it's phonetically Rutchna.
Rachna. Okay.
That's phonetically how you say it. But
okay.
Because it's unusual, I answer to anything that's,
remotely close.
Not like, hey, you idiot, but other than that, things that are pretty close.
Well, I heard Craig say Rachna, and I'm like, man, I've been calling her Rachna.
I've heard it both ways.
Yeah, everybody. Yeah, I think in like the 10 of us or however many, it's like there's like 8 ways to say it. But yeah, it's actually Rachna is the correct way.
Rachna. Okay, awesome.
Good.
Thank you.
Glad we got
that. Yeah, thank you.
All right, Craig.
I am 100% focused on my very simple webinar, which is actually doing okay in the long run here. And I'm looking for opportunities to improve. And to get you up to speed, it's Facebook ads, which I'm not dealing with. I have an ad company. Guy's pretty darn good at it. He's on top of things, so I'm not going to go there. To a webinar, a top of the hour webinar. And in there, I sell them on getting on my, getting on a strategy call with me.
Yep.
Right. And so on the strategy call, then I sell them on my $5,000 program to become a mental toughness trainer and do what I've done for the last 12 years. So while I was finishing up my KPIs, I don't know if you want me to share this or I can just talk about it. I have a whole spreadsheet that I showed Todd the last time I talked to him. He basically said I need to max this thing out. And right now, the thing that comes to my mind that probably needs the most work is getting my application rate up. So after they watch the webinar, I invite them to get on a call with me, but they schedule a time with me and they have to fill in an application, which is, 5 pre-qualifying questions, whatever. And that I'm below standards. And
What does that mean? So tell me what that means.
so when I learned this funnel, they gave me some standards for all these numbers that you should have. Like my conversion, my lead conversion is 27%. That's fine. I'm above. The averages of 20, and that's usually pretty good for any opt-in, right? Registration. My show rate, the standard is 50%. I'm above that, so that's cool. But people actually taking action and signing up for a free strategy call is below standard as I just finished filling out these numbers. And so I want you guys to just throw ideas, and this is probably what's driving me crazy and demoralizing me on getting people, like my ads are really good. I'm getting a fantastic click-through. The ad is basically join me on a clinic, whatever, to learn how I earn 6 figures as a mental coach without a sports psychology degree.
Now, that's off of a Facebook ad directly to a webinar registration page? Is that what that is? Okay.
Yeah. And my show rate is pretty good. I don't know, maybe I need to go look at how long they're staying on the webinar. Look, see, just talking this out here, saying this. And then my other problem is still the final close. And that's probably really where I could use your help. And that is with the, we talked about this a few weeks ago, you remember?
Mm-hmm. Yep, I sure did.
My biggest one is either I got to go talk to the wife or, man, I just don't know if I put myself in jeopardy, the money, that kind of stuff.
Did you get the book that I told you to get?
Which was the guy's name? Because I think I did.
Grant Cardone, Closer Survival
Oh,
Guide.
yeah, I got like 3 of his books. I get that one and 2 more. I'm listening to him. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I got I did. And I'm going through it. He actually has another one, Sell or Be Sold, that I'm listening to.
Sell or Be Sold. Yeah, I would focus on Closer Survival Guide. And if you have it on audio, which I do the same, I also get it on audio, I would get it in hard copy, because you literally can use it as a reference manual as you're on the phone with somebody and flip to that close. And you literally, I guarantee you can, like, if you memorize the closes and you just flip to one that sparks your memory, I guarantee you it will help you. It does for me. There's no doubt about it.
Okay, so that's all I got to do is pull out the relevant ones that I have enough experience. I know what comes up. And just plug them in there. Huh? It's like I'm listening to him, and he rattles off a bunch of things that really are not relevant. They're like, for people buying expensive equipment in a manufacturing company type of clothes. He's, there's a whole bunch of them.
There's some of them that are completely, totally relevant to what you're selling, but a lot of them are extremely relevant. And
okay.
So I would recommend doing that. But okay, so let's take a step back though. So I want to go to, because so what you mentioned was that you've got a good show rate, but the people that are actually signing up for a strategy session, that's low. What percentage of people that are signing up for a strategy session with you?
Out of the people that show, 13% apply.
Okay. What is your lead cost? What is-
I've got 124 people who registered. This is just in September so far. 91 attendees. That's a great show rate. That's showing to some degree. And then I have, how many? I got 12 apps out of that. Out of 91 attendees, I got 12 apps. So I haven't even presented any price, nothing.
Right. No, I got you. So let me ask you this. Do you have a autoresponder sequence going out to the folks that show and don't schedule an appointment?
That's what Todd told me I need to do on Friday. So that is in the works.
Okay. Yeah, you'll pick up between 10 to 25%, there, of a autoresponder sequence going out to folks who register but don't complete an application or fill out an application. You should capture at least that.
So let's talk about the psychology there of what I'm going to do to get them to take that action.
So here's what you want to do, right? And this is in the partnership coaching program. This is going back directly to the partnership coaching program, is that once somebody gets involved into your EBM content, which essentially is your webinar, and then they hop out of that, you want to get them back into the content. You want to get them back into the replay of the webinar, right? Hey, something came up in the webinar that you're not going to want to miss. It happens at minute, whatever, 16, hop back in here to check it out, right? And you want to get them back into, because again, keep in mind, in your webinar, you should be going over the beliefs that they need to have in order to raise their hand and say, yeah, I'm going to give you my information. And if they're doing that and they didn't see all of that, then what would make us think that just giving them, the application period would get them to do that? It probably wouldn't. We have to get them back into our EVM content. So that's what you want to do, right? So you want to have a series that goes out to them that's getting them back into the content, getting them back into immersed in your EBM content so that they can take it to the finish line. Now, you may want at the very end just to see how it works, just that, like your last and final email to be, hey, I noticed that you saw the webinar and you didn't take me up on my offer, but I just want to tell you a story about this guy who, felt the same way. And he also, at the last minute just decided to take me up. He's now making 6 figures. He's now happy with his life. He's now doing all these things. And this is a totally free, no obligation call. And I'm not going to be offering you. What is your element of scarcity right now? I'm curious to hear. What is your element of, like what's going to make me take action now?
I'm kind of weak on that, actually.
Yeah. So yeah, I can kind of sense that, right? So there's got to be.
I don't know what to do for that, because here's what I'm doing for real. Somebody, and this goes for the actual calls as well, that I'm kind of weak on that. What I'm actually doing is I'm filling up 5 spots. As soon as 5 spots are filled, that's a class. I start the class and then I work on the next class.
Yeah, but that's not to get on the strategy call. That's when you're selling, right? That's not on the strategy.
Right. I'm weak on both.
Okay. So let's first talk about the or the webinar, right?
Yeah.
So here's what I would recommend. And again, this is probably going to change some stuff in your webinar, but I would recommend that, number one, if they go all the way to the end of your webinar, they're going to get a free spreadsheet or whatever the case, something.
I got that.
Okay, perfect.
I got a giveaway built in.
Okay, so once they get to the end, they've got the giveaway, right? Yeah. Okay, so then in addition to that, if they get on a call with you, you're going to give them an extended version of the giveaway. And on top of that, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to offer this call, I'm going to give this away to the next 20 people that sign up, right? So what I just said was I'm going to give it to the next 20 people that sign up. I'm always going to give it to I'm not doing anything unethical. It's always going to be the next 20 people that sign up, right? And if you take action right now, and again, that's not the best way to create scarcity. So for anybody listening on the call, or that's not the best way to do it. But when you're kind of backed into a corner that is a way to leverage that, by saying, and if you're one of the next 20 people to sign up for or to schedule a call with me, I'm also going to give you an additional, wonderful widget, for free, just for signing up for the call, right? So now I'm able to leverage that scarcity a little bit, because again, what I just heard was, wow, if I'm one of the next 20 people to sign up, I get it, right? But there's always going to be the next 20 people, right? It's never going to stop. So does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it's an automated webinar
Right.
anyway. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Right. So so you've got there has to be an element of scarcity, and there has to be an element of missing out, right? Like a fear of missing out. There's got to be that in an over the top offer. How you do that, sometimes you need to be a little creative in how to do that.
Yeah.
But that's you definitely I don't know if you remember, but there was a time, I think it was, when the heck was it? I don't know. I forget. It's interesting though. Like when if I'm, okay, I'll give you a good example. Last week I was at a trade show, for the mealworms. There was a lady there who was a candy artist, and I forgot. I wanted to talk to Damien about maybe getting her to MFA Live. But this lady, she's this awesome Asian lady that does candy sculptures, right? And she can take a piece of candy and she can turn it into an alligator, a giraffe, an elephant. I brought one home to my one to my kids, and they loved it. And it's candy; it's a lollipop. Anyway, when she was getting to a point where she was shutting down, like her booth was closing in like 20 minutes, that's when people were getting online, because they were fearing that they're going to miss out. The scarcity was about to hit them in the face, and they didn't want to lose their opportunity to get their sculpture candy lollipop. So whenever this element of scarcity exists, that's when people really start to take more action. So you've got to put that in there. You've got to incorporate it.
Should I have just the idea for what to give them. The actual script I have used for 12 years to turn somebody interested in my services to a paying client, right? The script I use on the phone or something like that.
Perfect.
Right. So my question is, I'll tell them that at the end of the webinar. If you go through and the whole thing, schedule a call with me, I'll give you that. Should I make it? I also I'm getting no-shows, which bother me. I'm wondering if I should say, go through that and first thing on the call, you'll get it. Or when you do the application.
You're always going to get no-shows. So let me ask you, if I were to click on the ad today, when is the webinar?
Top of the hour.
Oh, that quick. Okay. So I could click on it right now at 7:44, and I could be watching your webinar at 8.
Yep.
I got it. Okay.
You can sign up for a strategy call tomorrow and 3 days after.
Yep. I got it. I get it. Okay. Interesting.
I'm wondering if I should just say do the app, which is another step, which gets them closer, or make them actually show up to get that goodie.
Yeah, I would first start with making them show up to get the goodie.
Okay. Show up.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, you got to show up and you got to listen to the end, in order to get it, or whatever the case is. So,
well, at the end, when I'm pitching, they've already gotten their first goodie from making it to the end of the webinar.
Right.
But then I need to, when I'm making the pitch, to get on the call with me. The first thing I'll give you when we show up is my script.
But here's the one thing I want to tell you though, Craig, because you had mentioned to me that you have your show rate is greater than 50%, right?
Show for the webinar.
Right. You're talking about show for the call. I get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
No show for calls. So like they get chicken feet.
Yeah. They've got to get on the call with you. What is your show rate for those calls then?
I didn't figure it out, but I could do it really quick in my head. So I've had 12 in September, 11 in August. That's 23. And I've probably had about 5 or 6 no-shows.
Okay.
Since I started this.
So 25% no-show rate.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you're about 5 points off, 5 to 8 points off of what the you should be, on that.
I mean, normal.
I mean, I would say that we operate, typically, for us, maybe about a 10%. But that's not on cold traffic. That's not on cold traffic. So,
yeah, mine's total cold.
yeah. So on cold traffic, I think that your numbers are right on. But the bigger thing is that you're profitable, right? You're profitable on your ad spend right now, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're in a good place, right? So we have to fix where, first identify where the constraints are, and that's the 13% of the people that are actually filling out the app. And
Yeah.
I think that, we do that, number one, definitely by getting an autoresponder sequence out to the folks that show up and don't schedule. What are you using Infusion?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that's the first thing. And then the second thing I would say is definitely give them a reason to show up, an extra added bonus just for showing up with you.
No, I already have that. No, I need to do a reason for filling out the app and getting on the call with.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that's exactly
okay.
right. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. No, that's awesome. That feels good. That's what I needed to hear today.
Yeah, cool, man. No, and I think
wait, one other thing. Let me ask you one other thing.
Yeah.
So you've been doing a lot of these one-on-one sales calls for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty new at it, as you can tell here. I need some from a pro, I don't know if it's inspiration or I'm not used to doing sales. I'm not used. This is all new to me.
Yeah. So let me ask you: do you enjoy the sales piece of it?
Sometimes it's really fun.
When they buy, right? When they buy, you enjoy.
No, actually, well, obviously, but I've had some ones that are actually pretty enjoyable. They're cool people. They're my type of people. We get it. We have right. But I guess it's just I don't know. I'm just not used to batting 10%.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So what you're saying is that if you get on the phone call with 10 people and one of them buys out of the 10, that bothers you because it doesn't feel right. You feel like more people should be closing.
Yeah. Okay. And my head is going, everybody's telling me this is working, Craig. Just freaking keep doing it.
Yeah. So, all right. So give me your number one objection that you get.
Yeah, I just can't afford it. It's just, oh man, it's great. I love this. Oh man, this is me. I go, this is you. Oh yeah, I want to do this so bad. Oh, and I'm like, well, then my comeback is usually, I once got a quote that I put all over when I first started from Tony Robbins. You heard of Tony Robbins? Everybody in my niche has. Yeah, it's never lack of resources. It's always lack of resourcefulness. And I go, let's brainstorm how you can go find that money.
Sure. So I'm going to give you interestingly enough, right? So as good of a marketer is Todd is, he's also very good at sales. As much as he doesn't come across as that, he really is, right?
He says he's not at that, by the way.
And I promise you he is, right?
I believe you.
Yeah. So here's one, when I first started with Todd, and this is a really good, I don't know if this is an anecdote or whatever this is, but this is just a good bit of advice for you to help you with your sales calls, right? Yeah. So, when Todd was kind of talking to myself, and at the time it was Lou and Damien, and we were like the first, 4 people that were on the call together when Todd decided that he wanted to grow his company. It was me, Damien, and Lou, right? And we were starting these strategy calls. And we were talking about the partnership coaching program, which to me, in my mind at that point, right, because I'm the free alarm guy, right? I sell free alarm systems. That's what I do. I can do that really well. I can't, and I also had experience selling, like $30, $40, $100,000 access control systems, camera systems, and stuff like that. But either way, right, I'm entering into this marketing world, and I know literally nothing about online marketing. And to be honest with you, I knew nothing about this whole world that existed of online coaches. I knew nothing of it. It was totally foreign to me. And my thought process was, you're telling me that you want me to get on the phone with somebody and close them after 30 to 45 minutes on a $5,000 coaching program. That's just not going to happen, right? That's what I was thinking, right?
Yeah.
And my first phone call, I closed, and I was like,
What?
Okay, this is all right. So anyway, so my point though is this, right? So this is going to help you.
Okay,
So,
good. That's what I need. Some
yeah,
inspiration.
So when I was talking to Todd, right, and he, gave this great analogy. He said, I am fully convinced, like fully convinced that if tomorrow the federal government came out and they said, listen, we have this new program where we're going to forgive your entire mortgage. Your whole mortgage on your house is going to be forgiven. Not, you don't owe a single penny on this mortgage, but it's going to cost you $10,000. It's going to cost you 10 grand to enter this program, but we're going to forgive your entire mortgage. I'm fully convinced that if they came out with that, everybody in America would come up with a way to produce $10,000. So why, if your program is going to give somebody the opportunity to change their life and pay off their mortgage on their house, it's going to give them the opportunity to put their kids through college. It's going to give them the opportunity to afford these things that they couldn't normally afford. Why wouldn't they do everything they possibly could to find that, 10,000, 5,000, whatever it is for your coaching program? Everybody, and this is, now transitioning to Grant Cardone, everybody loses when you don't make a sale. Everybody loses. You lose because your program is so good and you believe in your program and you can believe it can change people's lives. They lose, right? Because they're not getting the money out of their bank. They're not, whatever, putting on a credit card. They're losing out. You're losing out. And not only that, the person that they're now going to help because of your program, all those people that they're going to help, they lose out. So when you don't make a sale, and again, this is not to put on pressure. I just want you to get in the mindset of when you don't make a sale, everybody misses out. Everybody loses out. When you make a sale, everybody wins. So I hope that motivates you and that helps you. But that really helped me, both Todd's anecdote and then also Grant Cardone going into that, that message.
Very helpful. Awesome. I really love the mortgage thing. I'm actually going to use that. I'm going to ask them when I hear them say, do you own a home? I'm going to use it. Well, I'll tell you how it goes. If you want to,
and just, I'll tell you this real quick and then we'll hop on to somebody else here next. But an awesome, my favorite close of all time, and it's for alarm systems. So I don't think it definitely can't work for your, I just love it. Right. But
you might be able to pull the psychology out of it. Go ahead.
Maybe. Yeah. So if I'm sitting in a customer's house, right. And they're balking at a free alarm, right? So we're selling a free alarm system, professionally installed, absolutely for free. You just have to cover the monthly monitoring fees, right? So $34.95, $49.90, $39.95, whatever the case is, right? So now I'm in your house. You've invited me in. I'm sitting with you and your fiance, and we're talking about the benefits of a home security system. And you say, you know what, Dave, I'm just not so sure I can really add that to the budget. I can't, I'm not so sure I can add that $39.95 to the bottom line. And then I would say, that's interesting. I get it. Let me ask you a question. That refrigerator that you have right there, that's a really nice refrigerator. What kind of refrigerator is that? And you would say?
It's a Sears or whatever.
Sears. Okay, cool. Let me ask you something, Craig. If you were to take out all of the food in that refrigerator and all of the food in the freezer, and you were to add up all the price tags on all that food, how much would that be?
Yeah, $100 or more.
Yeah, most people $150, $250. The meat can be expensive, especially if you have that grass-fed Australian lamb in there, whatever the case is, right?
Yeah.
But, so $100.
Yeah.
Yeah. And do you have any idea that refrigerator, how much it costs to run the electricity on that refrigerator every month?
No, I don't.
Yeah, probably about on average $10, $15. And let me ask you, how much did you pay for that refrigerator?
Oh, I think it costs us like $600.
$600. Okay.
Yeah.
So let me get this straight. So for $600, you're protecting $150 worth of food for $15 a month. And what I'm suggesting is for free. I'm going to protect your family, your house, your refrigerator, and everything inside of the refrigerator as well. Let's get it installed tomorrow.
Nice.
So, anyway, so that's just so you can maybe take some psychology out of that.
Yeah, it's switching the frame. It's switching their frame.
Yeah, totally.
You just did that. That was awesome. I can I'll think about switching frames.
Yeah, exactly. Think about that mindset and exactly right. Yep, exactly right.
Cool. Thank you so much, Dave.
All right, brother. Well, you're a killer, man. I mean, I know that. Listen, so what happens is, and this is, a thing that I fear for you, and what you just told me before about like when you get into some of these good conversations, never lose that mindset that if you don't close them at the end of that everybody misses out, because you could very easily get into the mindset, well, this is a good guy, he really doesn't have the money,
Right.
and
I've done that.
yeah,
I've done that.
so we've all done it. We've all done that. We've all gone into that place where we're just like, yeah, you know what? I'll let this guy off the hook. I won't give him the hard press.
Yep.
He's like a nice guy. Don't do that. He's missing out. All his clients are missing out, and you're missing out if you don't close.
Okay. Thank you. I needed to hear that.
All right, brother.
Thank you.
You got it. So I know Rachna had to jump off. That's unfortunate. Mr. Lee, how are you, buddy?
Man, I am good, brother.
Where you been? Where you been hiding, man?
I know.
Dude, look at that wife beater you got on too, man. Look at you.
I know, and I'm making dinner. I just came back from a basketball game. Friend of mine got blown out. The little team got it was like 50-12.
Oh man,
basketball. She was crushed. I'm like,
wait, how old?
It's middle school. I think she.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was just like, I think it was kind of the game they played before the season starts. You know what I mean?
You putting on weight, man? You been lifting or something?
No, I think it's because I've been sitting around the house, man. I'm getting fat. That's what it is.
I didn't mean like putting on weight like that way. I meant like you look like you're bulking up, man.
It's a tight shirt. It's a tight shirt.
That's awesome. So how you been doing, man? How's work been? How's the clients? How's everything going?
Yeah, so it's going pretty good. I've been kind of rethinking the model, because here's the issue I'm running into. I spend so much time trying to get the result for my client that I feel bad when I jump on the call, because it's like, hey, Lee, let's talk to your funnel. Well, my funnel's kind of been the same for the last, 6 months, because I'm trying to get the result for them. And but I can't do that. Like, kind of like what you were saying, everybody loses, if and Todd mentioned it. I think it was, I don't know, I've been listening to so many different things. I don't know if it was from the 12-week mastery something or whatever, but he talked about how you always got to keep your eye on the client acquisition. Always got to keep your eye on getting new clients, or you run out of business. So, So, hey, what's up, John? So yeah, that's kind of what I've been focusing on, just getting my language down.
Well, I got to tell you, man, we were on our leadership call today. We have them every Tuesday, and we were talking about our agency, which we haven't taken out from the shadows yet. It doesn't exist really. Our agency doesn't exist,
right?
But we have clients, obviously in our agency. But my point is that Todd, he just again hammered home today that if sales and marketing aren't working to consistently acquire new customers, it's dead, no matter what it is, right? So we have to get, not saying that the agency is dead, but he was just ramming home the point that we have to consistently be looking at new customer acquisition all the time. And that's what you got to focus on, man, is always, especially if you want to grow. And I don't know what your aspirations are for your agency or for your business, but if you want to grow, it's got to be built on a foundation that's able to consistently acquire new clients, new customers.
Right. I've been kind of kicking myself a little bit lately, because I get to, what's that? Wait, I'm on the call.
Who's that?
Oh, this is little Ava.
Hey, Ava, what's going on? Hey.
Hey.
How are you?
Good. Yeah. So, and I had to ask myself, why wasn't I pushing? Because I was pushing very hard at the beginning of the year, kind of built up a book of business or whatever. And I kind of took my foot off the gas. And I think it's I don't know if it's mental, man, where it's kind of like, you get to a point where I wasn't as hungry. You know what I mean? So I'm like, hey, I'm doing pretty good. Girls are in private school. Everything's going good. You know? So then you get lazy, you know? But then I start saying, it's kind of like before I was full-time, you got your paycheck every week, right? So it's consistent, you know, hey, I make this much a month. This is kind of what I do. And even so, I kind of took that over into my business where, hey, this is the monthly income for the business. So we're good, you know? Hey, yeah, you just get used to, hey, $5-7 grand a month, just living life, almost like my own salary.
Right, right.
And I say, well, but, you know, a company that's not growing is dying, you know? So I said, why can't I be, you know, 10 grand or 15 grand or, you know, whatever a month, you know? So that's kind of where I said, all right, Lee, you got to kick it in gear, you know? But I know what it is to go to the next level. Now I'm managing people. Now dealing with outsourcers, or I started doing it for a couple months, and it's exhausting. I'm not doing the work anymore, which is good, but that whole managing people and documenting my process and blah, blah, blah. And I say, man, it's easier just to kind of have my 7, my 7 clients and just hang out.
Well, one thing you always you have to be aware of is attrition as well. You'll get hungry real quick if, you know, one of your 2 clients or 1 or 2 of your clients say, hey, you know, listen, you know, you did a great job for us, but we're going a different direction, right? You know, then you start. Then
I go hustle, right?
Yeah.
You know, then I'm making that follow-up call to the people who didn't show up. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, totally. So no, that's good to hear that you're doing well, man. Is there anything we can help you out with, you know, over the call today, or anything that we've been talking about? And I know you hopped on a little bit late. If you look in the chat, which you may want to grab, there's some stuff I put in there, you know, some Dropbox links to some files that I think would be really worthwhile for you.
So how do I go up? Like the first thing I see is
I'm not sure. I'll copy and paste it if you just hang on 1 second.
Okay, yeah, because I know Hannah's been killing it, John's been killing it, you know. So I saw some of and I was like, what is that? What is that they're sharing? Oh no, because I just got back from the game. But yeah, I'll grab a couple of those. One thing, and I think I'm just going back to the, at one time I had switched the lead gen part to kind of like a 3-part series or whatever that kind of talk people through my process, and then push to a coaching call application. So I was really paying attention when you're talking to Craig. But, you know, I think it's just not easier, but a faster cycle when I just do either push to a webinar and then application on the webinar, or push to, because that's how I got the business. And then I'll shut it off and maintain the client. So then somebody will drop off, and I'll do a Facebook Live. Like I did a Facebook Live, and a couple people hit me up like, hey bro, heard you was talking about this thing. Can you look at my stuff? And I was like, sweet. And I didn't do it consistently because I was like, cool, I got a couple clients. Now I'm back feeling comfortable. And I just gotta keep pushing it. But so to answer your question, for the agency, you guys do the ad push to the assist video and then to the application, right? And then I get a call from somebody.
Yeah, so that's not for the agency. That was for our partnership coaching program, which is going to be changing, and you're going to hear you're going to hear some more about that are you coming to MFA Live?
I am. At first I wasn't gonna be able to make it, but because the conference that I'm doing the marketing for is that Wednesday. But the weekend before, I said I'm going to MFA Live.
Cool. All right. Well, I'll give you a high five because you're in like Tampa area, right? Or no,
Yeah, I'm right down the street, brother.
yeah. So I'll give you a high five as we're en route there. But are you doing the Levesque thing too, or no? Are you going to that as well?
I'm gonna get there Friday. So I think I'll get there Friday, and I don't think I'll do the hack Monday thing.
Okay.
One after. There's one before and one after. I think I'm gonna do the before because Monday, Tuesday, I really got to focus on this.
Yeah. Yeah, I would recommend I mean, you know, and this isn't a sales pitch. It's just that, you know, Ryan normally charges, I think, 10K, you know, like, you know, for that workshop, you know, and
Right.
for whatever it is, 697. It's just, you know, he's actually, and you know, like he's doing this, you know, just as like a favor for Todd as well, you know, so totally something I would recommend getting on, man, because you're not going to see that anywhere else. So anyway, but that's cool that you're going. We can get the opportunity to hang out and stuff like that. There's going to be, I think right now we have like close to 200 people registered, where last year we had, I think, 115 or something like that registered. So
Okay.
it's a lot bigger.
Cool.
So cool, man. So no questions or anything like that?
Well,
really?
so you were saying that the agency model.
Yeah. So we're not doing anything right now. So that's why I was saying, like, for the agency, we haven't even started yet. So we're just in the process of building the website, building the Facebook page, and we've literally done nothing, you know, to get agency deals as far as marketing goes, because they've just come to us, you know.
Right.
However, you know, Todd looks at that and he says, that's all well and good, but that's not gonna, you know, that's not how we're building this agency business, you know. And he's right, you know. So we are going to we're going to be doing three things. The first thing is we are going to be doing like a survey to the list, you know, to get people to raise their hand to say, I'm interested in having you, you know, do it for me. The
Okay.
second thing we're going to be doing is Facebook ads, you know, probably to, like, you know, a webinar or something that's of value to, you know, to folks. And then the third thing is I have a guy who is going to be starting on Monday. He's a pure, you know, like hunter sales guy. And what he's going to be doing is he's going to go and look at people's websites, people that are maybe advertising on Facebook and stuff like that, take a look at their websites, and he's going to do a review, like a free review for their website, and record it and then send it on over to them. And, you know, like, so for example, John's, you know, pet website, he would look at it and say, you know, hey, I see you've got a headline here, and I see you've got this and this. Here's what I would probably change. Here's how I would say it differently. And here's why, you know, you might not be seeing the conversions that you want to be seeing. Do me a favor and take a look at this. And I'm going to follow up with you and give you a call in a couple of days. I want to talk about it with you, you know. And then once he gets on the phone with them, he's going to sell them into like a 2-hour call with me, you know, probably for like $500. You know, that's going to be the idea, you know, is to get on the phone with me. So those are the three things that we're going to be doing in order to get new agency clients. Probably starting really not next week, but the following week.
Well, what's cool is, that's actually, you know, I started off getting referrals, right? Because of the not having a plan in place. And my very first method for building the business was, you know, I would get emails from marketers, right? Hey, marketing this stuff. And I'd be like, hey, you know what? I would do a Camtasia video, you know, and say, hey, I went to your sales page and this and this and this, you know. So that's kind of how I built it from the ground.
Listen,
you know?
man, and if that's what's working, right, and you want to, you know, then train somebody up. Train somebody up to do that, right? You know, and show them how to do that.
That would be simple. Yeah. You know, because I'm like, hey, I got to do this webinar and blah, blah, blah. That's not how I started. You know?
Well, I mean, look, if again, you know, we tend to look at stuff like, if it's working, you know, why in the world would we want to change it? You know, why in the world would we want to, you know, do something different? You know, why would we want to reinvent the wheel? We don't need to do that, you know?
Right.
So,
right.
So yeah, I mean, if that's how you built it, I would focus on training, you know, training somebody up to do that. John, I just sent you a link. It's just real quick. It's something that I it's a screencast I prepared for Barry, just to give you a heads up, you know. So if you want to take a look at that link, that's what I sent her today. Because remember, I promised her 3 things, and that was talking about those 3 things.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So where are you at right now, Lee? Are you saying, at this point I want to start growing stuff? Is that where you're at? You're in kicking into high gear now at this point, or what's going on?
Yeah. So my goal is to, I know that usually there are, my business is cyclical. It goes in cycles.
Yeah.
So I usually push really hard, September, October, November, because December kind of chill out. And my pitch going into December is always, hey, you want to have a funnel up by, a converting funnel, to start the new year off, right?
Sure.
So I lock in people at the end of the year, telling them, hey, if we lock this in now, we're able to start off strong in January. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because that gets me through Christmas, because people start spending again after Christmas. So I usually kind of chill a little bit during the summer, and then I start killing now, so that I have food for the winter. You know what I mean? But that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
I'll be starting the probably another a Facebook ad campaign, pushing to a webinar, and then just closing on the call. Not a webinar. I started
session. Yeah.
pushing to a strategy session.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I've never had like a decent lead magnet. It was always pushing to the consultation, jumping on my current ones, for referrals, and then closing the referrals. That's pretty much been how I run it.
Well, I would, you always hear people talk about goals, right? I would probably want to, if I were you, look at, what is it that you what number do you want to be at reasonably, on your own by yourself, right? Because you're just one guy and we can't clone Lee, right?
Right.
So like what is the number that you would want to be at? And
hey, Larry, it's David here. I promised you 3 things today. I wanted to deliver on those, so I wanted to just
John?
record this quick video.
Hey, John.
First,
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah. Hey, we can hear you.
Sorry about that.
That's all right. But yeah, I would set a goal, right? And I would get that goal, down, because, if we don't set those goals, if we don't set the, where it is that we want to be, and this is, I sometimes I forget how many people I tell my anecdotes to, but you guys have seen the movie Alice in Wonderland?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's a point where Alice is walking down the road and she comes up in the Cheshire cat or Cheshire cat, whatever's in the tree, right? And there's a V in the road. And she looks up at the cat and she says, well, which road do I take? And the cat says, well, where do you want to go? And she says, well, I don't know where I want to go. And he says, well, if you don't know where you're going, then any road will get you there. And the reality is that, you've got to know where it is you want to end up so you can pick the right road to get on.
Well, and see, that's where I get stuck every time I kind of go through this mental process, because so here are the two paths that I see, right? So one is the, where do you want to be when you grow up? I always ask myself, hey, where do I want to be when I grow up?
Yeah.
And I've been, I was at an event and I saw a guy that said, hey, I said, hey, what do you do? He says, I do the social media marketing for the city of Tampa, right? And I was like, really? He's like, yeah. So that means the Bolts, the Rays, and the city of Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
And I had never thought of social media or whatever for a city.
Hey, just hang on a second. Are you a Bucks fan?
Yes.
All right. Keep going. Never mind.
Yeah, I know. So this is why I can do more work on Sundays, because I don't have to watch the Bucks game. Yeah. We're getting stopped.
That's funny.
But so she when I heard that, I started going to a couple events, and I found out how to get certified with the state as a city vendor and so forth, right? Which and I start seeing that, I didn't know that the tram system, has, they have websites and need conversions on their websites. Hillsborough County schools, conversions. So I started thinking, whoa, I never thought city. I was always thinking, entrepreneur, business owner, blah, blah, blah.
Sure.
And city, you get a city or a small city outside of Tampa or Apollo Beach or something, then you can just do the whole contracting thing. So my vision for what was possible grew, right? Like, whoa, wait a minute, who does, sales funnels for municipalities, right? Like, what? Are you serious?
Sure.
And then I kind of got scared. I was like, ooh, that means, now you're at more 90-day windows for payment, now proposals and the whole nine. But my vision for what was possible expanded. And then I started thinking, well, what do I really want to do? Do I want to do this entrepreneur thing? Because if I'm going to do the entrepreneur thing, then definitely I'll need to move up. I plan on moving up the ladder anyway, right? Bigger projects and that type of thing. But to answer your question, whenever I set the goal, it's like, where do you want to be? And honestly, I don't know, because now the universe is a lot bigger than I thought it was 6 months ago.
Got it.
I mean,
I understand.
I thought-
I totally get it. Yeah, I mean,
how do I set that goal? Like, what that process looks like?
well, I mean, so first off, there's a way that you determine success that's different than the way that I determine success, which is different than the way that John determines success, right? They're all going to be different. How we view, success is all different, right? And I would start off at a point of, where you would, say, what, this is the next level that I would want to get to. This is the next, barrier that I would want to cross. And I would set that next barrier, because ultimately once you get there, you're going to set another one. But I would, just put my eyes on whatever that next level is, that next plateau that I want to bust through, and maybe it might be, I want to bust through the plateau of complacency that I'm good at having, whatever, $7,000 a month retainer clients, right? I want to bust through that, and I want to get to the next level, which might be, $12,000 a month of retainer clients, right? That's where I want to be. Right. So, however it takes to get there, if that's the municipalities, if that's through private entrepreneurship, if it's whatever, that's, I would first start from a place of financial, because that's where most people start. Now, that might not be where you determine success, right? Because, for some, success might be that I can have a passive income, and I can spend more time with my family, and I'm okay with, only making X amount of dollars, because to me, the time with my family is far more important than making an extra 50 grand or 100 grand a year even. Right. So again, I think you've got to really just zero in on what is the next level of success for Lee, and what does that look like? And then steer the ship and set your target for that next plateau and that next level. And again, I mean, I understand what you're saying, because, if your goal, last month was, $8,000 a month in retainer clients, and now that there's this whole nother world of municipalities, I wouldn't let that, change direction of the ship. Because what if that doesn't work out? What if that isn't something, what if you get into it and you realize there's a whole bunch of red tape that I just don't feel like getting through, or whatever the case is? I wouldn't let that change the course. I would set the course for that plateau. And if that is a way to get there, then look at it as a way to get there. I wouldn't change the course of the ship.
Gotcha. Yeah. I was thinking it usually comes down to a number,
Sure.
I was either thinking the number being a financial number, or like, hey, I want 30 clients. You know what I mean?
Sure.
You know, the company have X amount of clients, you know,
Right.
Because I was trying to quantify what success would look like. And like I said, like you said, it'll probably change. So,
Sure.
you know,
But that's also a good way to look at it, right? Because if you know that you have capacity, you know what an average client in time is going to cost you or be, you know, for you per week, right? You know what that time allotment is. And let's just say you can fill that cup with 30 clients and still be at that time that, you know, where you don't want to exceed. You still want to go to the basketball games, right? You still want to go to those things.
right.
And it doesn't exceed that, then that's also a good way to measure it as well. You know, but I would just, again, whatever that looks like for Lee, what does success look like for Lee, and get there. I mean, you know, and we're all guys here on the call right now. We're like providers, right? You know, so we have, you know, this responsibility, so we know what it is that we want, you know, what we want to get to in order to be, you know, the provider for our families and the providers for you know, for you know, to keep the lights on and everything like that. So only you can determine that, you know, and I can't you know, name what that is, but I would determine what that looks like and set my sights for that.
Okay. Yeah. Got you. All right. Well, that was part of the reason why, you know, getting off the dependency of referral clients creates that stability. You know, that because for the last couple of years, you know, when something drops off, hey, you know anybody? Yeah, I know somebody. They've been asking about it. Boom, and they jump on, and I just kind of keep rolling. But if I'm gonna grow, I know you got to hit that. And it's funny because I was always learning these lessons, like tuning into these calls for how it will apply to my client's business. Like, you know what? This is how we should close. And this is how we, versus saying, hey, you know what?
I
need to be doing this, you know?
Yeah. So just to put that into perspective, right? We have a list of tens of thousands of people, right? That I could go out to and I can get them to raise their hand and say, yeah, I want agency work, right? I can do that. Todd doesn't want me doing that because he wants first a sustainable model for us to acquire new customers, you know, new clients, a different avenue first, which makes total sense.
Sure.
You know, we want to do that first before we go and we hit our list, which we know, again, you know, we can definitely, you know, in a couple of emails, pull down some new clients out of there first. We want to build a sustainable model. So those referrals, they're enticing, but look at that as the gravy. Look at that as the gravy, right?
Okay.
That's the gravy, and the meat and the potatoes is in your business. And then, you know, I think that I mean in your business, in acquiring the new prospect, you know, from cold traffic or wherever else, as opposed to referral. But then, you know, look, you can have, you know, the Lee Fuller agency, you know, and train a few people up, and now, you know, you can start to grow the business. But I don't know if you want that. Some people don't want that headache. Some people just say, you know what, I know that, you know, what I'm capable of, and I'm just going to produce, you know, what I'm capable of. So it's up to you.
Yeah. When I first started the business, you know, it wasn't like, hey, all right, this is going to be my millionaire maker, right? It was like, hey, you know, I was deputy sheriff. So, hey, people aren't shooting at me. This is a lot safer. You know?
I didn't know that. You were a deputy sheriff? I didn't know that.
Hillsborough County. That's right.
Oh, man. Hillsborough County.
That's what all this is all about, brother.
Dude, Hillsborough County. I hope you went out with 2 bulletproof vests on when you went out there, man.
Right. Yeah, that's TPD, you know. So, yeah, it was just kind of, hey, something I can do at home. I'll be home at night. Everything's good.
Wait, are you still deputy sheriff or no?
Not anymore. No, I retired out. Yeah. So,
retired?
Well, you're vested after 6 years. You know. So,
I got you.
Yeah. But you know, it was more of, hey, I want to get off the streets. You know, I want to get out from the jail and be home with my family. I got 2 little girls, wife. You know, she was like, hey, I can't sleep when you are out on shift at night, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So I think the initial goal was to be able to come home and make it as an entrepreneur. right? So now it's time I got to reset my azimuth to, okay, now that now that the dust is settled, you know, and life is still going on 2 years now after leaving, because that first year, you know, you're just hustling.
Yeah.
Now, hey, we're good. Now it's time to shoot it again and say, okay, my first goal was to, you know, make what I was making at the sheriff's office. All right, we're back there. We're good. You know, now it's like, okay, now what does the next iteration look like?
Yeah.
And I think that's, you know, now is that time.
Yeah, no, and that's a great point, right? You've already so now you've hit that one plateau, that level that you were at, and now is the opportunity to, you know, to say, okay, what's next for Lee, right? What's next out there?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
No, I think that's a good place to be, though, man. I think that's good, and I think that's good that you're thinking about it, you know, because you know, it's nice to say to clients, yeah, listen, you know, you want to see my funnel? Well, I don't have one because I don't need one because my referrals come in. And it's, you know, but it's also good to say, okay, here's my funnel and here's what drives me consistent customers and gets me consistent business.
Right. This is why we're having the conversation today, because you went through here.
That's right. Exactly.
I like that.
Yeah.
I think that's a little stronger. All right, brother. I'm gonna jump off, and I'll look forward. I'll be down in Fort Lauderdale, so I'll get a chance to high five.
Yeah. Well, we got to catch up, man.
All right, brother.
All right, buddy. Good talking to you.
Hold on before you close the chat.
Yeah. Copy those links because if I hang up now, they're gonna evaporate.
Right. Copy. And I'll just look through them and see exactly what they are because I don't know what they are.
So, well, I'll just tell you real quick. One of them. So, there's a course that I've been going through. It's called the Advertising Magic. It's something that Todd recommends and has always recommended. You know, and it's a fantastic course just on headlines and, you know, creating the perfect advertisement. So I took a page and I started, you know, the call with going over one of the checklists. The second thing, the eBay link is where I got it. So this guy says that he has the rights to it. So that's where I actually bought it. And the third is a file of just some swipe copy, just a bunch of, you know, a swipe file of copywriting superstars. So, so you might want to take a look at that as well.
Okay. And, yeah, by our next call, you know, I'll have a funnel to talk me through, and probably some numbers because I got to get this thing up.
Awesome. I look forward to it, man.
All right, brother.
All right, brother. Talk to you soon, man.
Yes, sir.
All right, bye.
Bye.